So I have kind of a, I guess I have a stalker now. This guy is named Chad Zumock. He's somebody who he's a comedian. I did his show like a couple years ago. It might have been, I think it was pre-pandemic. And I don't know how it became this thing where he's like really stalking me a lot. But our beef kind of started. It wasn't even beef. Like he started shitting on my friend Stacy Pressman just on Twitter, like whatever. And I just sort of like came to her aid, defending her a little bit. And then I think he just sort of decided to hate me. I don't quite understand why. Because he started to say, "Oh, like you don't have very many Twitter followers. You're like not that big a deal." And this was like a couple years ago before I heard now I have more than him, but it's okay. It's neither here nor there. He was like, everyone starts somewhere, man. Like he's giving me shit for not having as many Twitter followers as him. And, you know, just, my everything. I suck. I'm not funny. It's like, okay, buddy. All right. Have a good one. And then, a couple years went by. I just was working harder, started to do better, got more following. Again, he's like shitting on me still. And then I look up his social blade and I found out, I'm like, oh, this guy buys followers. Like he buys 2,000 followers like every so often. Like, what is he doing shitting on me for my Twitter following? Again, like probably regular people listening to this is like, what does this matter? Who gives a fuck, You guys are talking about your Twitter following. Um, I was like, he shouldn't be bragging about his following when he purchases followers. Like that's not organic. And literally anyone can buy followers. It doesn't mean like you worked for them or you earned them or you have this big following. So I just simply posted his social blade where it proves that he buys followers, and he got very upset with that. Like this is social blade. Anybody can just type in any name. Like if I type in my name here, how it works. How did I get a B minus? I don't know. You can see what someone's following is over time, how many they're gaining, how many they're losing, how often they're tweeting, right? So I just did this for Chad because I'm like, he certainly talks a big game, how great he is, and how many followers he has, and how many I don't, apparently. But then you can see, wow, like losing, losing, losing. And then today, I guess, bought 1,900. You can see that he bought 1,900, which based on his following is not an organic gain. So that points to a purchase of followers. Big deal. And he's still doing it. You'd think like after you get called out for something like this, you'd hang it up. But no. Yeah, you can see here so this is something he's doing more than once a month, apparently. So on June 6th, he bought, 1,900 followers. I guess he must have bought them from somewhere not really with a great reputation because he literally lost all of them the next day. And here he is again buying 1,900. This is what this guy does. And then he'll chastise me for not having enough followers. I just don't quite understand it. I think with some of these older comics, like maybe they don't understand like how to gain an organic following, and maybe something like buying followers seems like the easy way out. I don't know. I feel for these older comics sometimes because they don't really maybe they don't understand social media as well. So let's pull up. So this was like the total followers for him. And every time there's a spike is a day that he bought followers and then lost them. So you can see like over this whole year, he buys them a couple days or weeks later, they get lost or immediately. So every time there's a spike is like he's trying to buy them. And I guess he has something with wanting to be over 20K. Maybe he likes that number. But this is like a pattern for this guy. And I simply pointed this out, and he considers that to be doxing, which again, I think with these older comics, they don't really understand maybe internet words, or I don't think he understands what doxing is. I kind of feel bad for the guy. Someone might need to explain what doxing is to him. So I'm just going to play. And so anyway, that's basically how this whatever beef started. I don't know. It's really more the beef is just on his side. And then I figured, all right, I guess he's not talking about me anymore. And then, so this is his podcast. And it's like, he's talked about me on 8 episodes of his podcast. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, the most recently was yesterday, June 22nd. So it was 4 times in April, 3 times in May, and once in June. He's brought me up. He brings up Frank. Like, we don't work with this guy. We don't do shows together. Like, we don't really even have friends in common. So it doesn't really make sense for him to bring me up as often as he does. And I think he's just in a really bad habit of shitting on me. I don't know if I hope that makes him feel better about himself. I don't know what the purpose is, but I don't really understand him. I really hope he gets well soon. And then I there's I tweeted this out yesterday because I was like, I don't really know if this is a threat or not. Like, it's hard to draw the line, right? Like, we know with men,
No,
like,
you're
oh,
right.
is it a threat? Is it not? Is someone just angry? Who knows? So this was my tweet from yesterday. Okay, it sounds like I'm genuinely being threatened here. What are your thoughts? Watch to the end.
Comedy, I like
So
to call
here
it.
is like
No, you're Switzerland on this. So don't try to
he's
cancel
talking to his
Tony.
friend Tony Mazer on his show, and he's launching into his shitting on Chrissy bit, which I guess Tony doesn't want to participate in. So Chad just kind of explains why he
No,
hates me.
you're Switzerland on this. So don't try to cancel Tony Mazer. I will say, because I've been very vocal, the Clintons of comedy, I like to call them, Frank Pellegrino and Chrissie Mayr.
I think I'm
You're
restarting this because I muted
Switzerland
myself.
on this. So don't try to cancel Tony Mazer. I will say, because I've been very vocal, the Clintons of comedy, I like to call them, Frank Pellegrino and Chrissie Mayr.
Again, he's calling us the Clintons of comedy, which makes no sense. The Clintons are a rich, powerful, well-connected, beloved by the establishment, enjoyed and supported by mainstream media. Like, I am anti-establishment, not well-connected, not rich, not like anything. We just work hard. We just do a podcast, man, and stand up and just living our lives. I'm not sure what that has to do with him. Again, I think he's upset that uh he shat on me for my Twitter following, and then I simply just posted his social blade so people could see like this guy is buying his followers. At least mine's like organic. And I think now he's very upset that my following has surpassed his. I don't know why. It's not a competition, dude. Like, you are only in competition with you from last year. So I don't know. I don't look at people who are doing better than me and go, I hate you. You know, it's just like, grow up, man.
They're not authentic. They're puppeteers, and they're enabling a lot of these trolls. They're going on
Enabling trolls. Again, I think with these older comedians, they don't really understand maybe how social media works. Like, I love to bullshit with people on Twitter and joke back and forth, and it's called like engagement. Like, you chat with people. It's part of why Twitter is so fun. It's because you can have a conversation with your fans and whatever. I don't know if maybe Chad doesn't do that or he hasn't figured out how to do that with his fans, but like, I simply just engage with people on Twitter, and maybe he doesn't have that or people don't like him and he blames me for it. Like, again, like, I'm not sending any. I mean, I'm so busy. I have so many better things to do than send people to go dislike Chad. Like, he's very good at doing that on his own, I guess. Again, like, I think about him almost never until he does a podcast episode about me, and then I'm like, what? Why? You're only in competition with yourself from last year. Like, why do you have to compare yourself to me? I don't understand it. The Clintons of comedy makes absolutely no sense.
out of their way to dox people and to fuck people up. That's a fact.
He thinks, and like, bless his heart, he thinks doxing is what I did with the social blade, like posting that he buys followers every so often. Like, again, I think he's a little bit old and like doesn't understand. And I don't mean like an age, I just mean like mentally, or maybe with like understanding how social media works. Like, a lot of these comics that are like, I guess, I don't know, 50 and up or 40s and up, like, I missed the boat on learning about social media. And again, it's not too late. You can still learn about it, but I don't think he understand what doxing is. Like, I'm just revealing something that's public. Like, revealing information is not doxing. I'm not like posting his address or his phone number or anything like that, or his family's. So again, I think he's confused about what doxing is.
And that's not cool. And that brown noser, by the way, who's used Kumia's name more than he's ever used his name to get.
I've used Kumi's, like, Am I allowed to use his name when I'm having a conversation with him, like when I'm on his show almost weekly? Again, like, how is it brown nosing if you're just like you're friends with somebody? I think he's confused.
Places. You're gonna get fucked up someday by somebody. You know, you thought Geno was the first one. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. And
is that a threat? It doesn't sound good. It doesn't make me sound like, oh, okay. It's not good.
That's another thing. She tried to accuse me of getting one of her hit gigs. As much as I do not like.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He called up venues that I've performed at and asked how ticket sales were. Like, nobody does that with good intentions. And I do believe he called up a venue in Ohio, which I had a relationship with, and like told them that I had a show where I couldn't follow a feature. I don't know. He's such a hypocrite because he absolutely has tried to sandbag a couple of my gigs. Again, at the end of the day, like, if I miss a gig because this guy made some phone calls and got a show canceled, then it wasn't mine to begin with. Like, if it takes so little to lose a gig or lose a relationship, then it truly wasn't meant for me, you know? But he's very hypocritical for saying he's never tried to keep someone from work.
I would never try to get her fired. I would never try to.
Never try to get me fired, but he did prevent me from he did attempt to prevent me from booking a future gig for sure.
You know, let her go on stage and bomb on her own. Let her go do her. Let her bomb on her own. And
anyway, that's what I love about this little video. Here are all my headlining dates. Come see me. Good times.
Market decide. I mean, if you're not.
Anyway, I just think it went from a banter to then he's just like sort of decided to hate me, which I don't really understand because I don't work with him. I don't know. But again, like, it's complaining is very addictive, and it's very easy to shit on somebody else. You know, it's easier to do that than it is to like work on yourself, I guess.